Hello and welcome to episode 66. We're executing order 66, Cayman. On today's episode of the Spotlight Games podcast, it is the first episode of our 2023 campaign, Cayman. And boy, do we have some things up our sleeves this year. Cayman, how are you?
I'm doing good, Patrick. Guess what?
Oh,
yeah, baby. We're back
There it is.
again. We took what, last week off? That's right.
We
Is
took
that
last
right?
week off.
We
Yes,
did,
sir.
Yeah, we're back.
Yep. Yeah, I was I think I was no, actually that was Monday. I was gonna say I think I was at the Claremont Lounge when we would have been recording, but that was actually Monday night, not Tuesday night. We had company in town. But if you don't know what the Claremont Lounge is, if you're not Atlanta based, we say it's where strippers go to die. Mostly
Or where strippers go to be reborn.
exactly, because it's usually strippers that are let's say potentially getting Social Security.
Yes, actually, I think that's a very accurate statement.
Yeah. Great night though. If you've never been to the Claremont Lounge, if you come to Atlanta and you don't live here, you got to go because it's quite the experience.
Sure.
But Cayman, we have a fun show planned. We're going to be talking about our predictions for the year 2023, but we're not just doing that. We're also going to be talking about the predictions we made this time last year in 2022, and we're going to tally them up and see what we got right, what we got wrong, where we were just batshit insane, and where maybe we had our hand on a little crystal ball, Cayman. So why don't we jump in with some housekeeping, because we have a lot of video game stuff to talk about, because this is the Spotlight Games podcast where each week we spotlight the latest and the greatest in the world of video games. You can get it by subscribing to our YouTube channel at Spotlight Games Pod or by searching for Spotlight Games in your favorite podcast app. And hey, you can be on the show by tuning in as we record live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/Spotlight Games Pod, like we are right now. So be sure to follow us there so that you're notified when we go live so you can be part of the conversation. Cayman.
Yes.
It's not just a day of big things in the land of Spotlight Games. It's also a day of big things in the world of Save Trash Cinema, because it is our 1-year anniversary of that show, Cayman. True or false?
Oh my God. True. Indubitably
True.
Indubitably. It is true. We actually celebrate today. Well, today the episode goes live, but tomorrow is technically the 1-year anniversary, but fuck it. It is your favorite Trash Cinema podcast. It's Trashiversary. That's apparently the better name than just calling it a 1-year anniversary. I fucked that one up.
Well, no, hey, here's the thing. Something that I've grown very fond of with Save Trash Cinema and specifically trash is that you can really shove the word trash into like anything.
Yeah, and that's why someone said that to me. They were like, "Oh my God, it's your 1-year Trashiversary," and I was like, "How did I not come up with that?"
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, either way, the episode's live right now. You guys should go check it out if you really want to see like just how much growth that we've done as podcasters. I think this is like the perfect episode to start. It's such a great episode, honestly. Like, one, I think technically speaking, it just really shows like how much we've grown in terms of being able to like our production value has gone up.
Yeah.
But I think too, it's just a really interesting podcast we do a listicle. We talk about our favorite trash cinema films that we covered this year. In year one, we do a deep dive into actually how Save Trash Cinema started, which is really cool. Something we've never done before. And we talk at length about that. We talk about Patrick's his evolution through trash cinema over the last year. And then we make him suffer by making him listen to all the times that we've made him say horrendously awful things on that show. Really is. It is that I think this episode is like a love letter to our fans, to our listeners, and just like a good milestone for STC in general. I'm really happy with it and really excited about year 2 in STC.
Yeah. It's a great episode. Definitely recommend you going and giving that a listen. But Cayman, you said something in your little spiel there. You said did a little deep dive. What if I told you that this year we're going to be doing a lot of deep diving, but maybe not on this podcast? We're going to talk about that a little later. We have a big announcement to share with our audience. So stick around to the end of the show, or maybe in the middle of the show. We'll see when the announcement actually happens. But we have something up our sleeve for 2023 that we're very excited about. So stick around. But for now, Cayman, what do you say we jump into the show proper and catch up with each other about what we've been playing since our little 1 week hiatus last week?
Yeah, fuck yeah, bruh.
Fuck yeah, bro. So yeah, last time we met, last time we met, I don't even remember what you were playing. What have you been playing since 2 weeks from now?
Oh man, so I beat the Callisto Protocol.
That's right.
Yeah, so I beat the Callisto Protocol, but I think we have something more in store for the Callisto Protocol. So
We do.
I don't want to give away too much about my feelings until we do that. What I can say is I've also been playing a game that you got me for Christmas.
Ooh, ho, ho, ho.
I've been playing Gotham Knights, the notoriously terrible Gotham Knights, according to critics and reviewers alike. And I have to say, I don't know, man. I'm only a few hours in. I haven't had a ton of time to play with just some life things going on.
Yeah.
But I can say so far, like, I don't know. I kind of dig it. It's cool.
I was hoping that would be the case, and also like there were a few games last year, most notably Saints Row, where came out, didn't get very good reviews, but we kind of asked ourselves like, is this game still going to be fun? In your case, Saints Row was still fun. I had this voice in the back of my head, like Gotham Knights not getting a lot of good reviews, but something tells me it's still a good video game.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I am playing it now, a few months removed from its launch. So a lot of the technical issues I think people were having that were pissed off about, like I'm not seeing those.
Yeah.
I think the game looks really good. Like the game looks good. But it very much like I can see like a lot of people were saying, asking the question, they were saying like, oh, this game is too much like a PlayStation 3 game. And like, I think it is that question has like really boiled up in my brain where I'm now asking the question, is that a bad thing?
Sure.
Because like, we can look at other games, things like Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, Shovel Knight, Hollow Knight. I guess any game that ends in night. No, but
Gotham Knights?
Gotham Knights? No, I mean, like, so we have a lot of these games, though, that are, like, critically acclaimed, that are, like, Super Nintendo-style games, right? Octopath Traveler, Triangle Strategy, Live Alive. Like, these games are very Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1 era games. And we love that. And we're nostalgic for that. And I think the PlayStation 3 era is just too new. Like still too new for people to be able to go like, yeah, I'm fine with another game like this generation. But for me, like if we look back, like let's be honest, like the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 era was fantastic.
It was incredible.
Yeah, so like I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing, especially when all of these games want to be some like massive overhaul of genres and whatnot. Like it's not bad to like go back to a game that just feels nostalgic. Sure. And to me, from what I've played so far of Gotham Knights, I feel like there's enough tricks up its sleeve for it to feel modern. But also there's a lot of that game that just still kind of feels nostalgic. Like it feels like some of those PlayStation 3 era games that just we don't get them really anymore. And I kind of dig it. So like I've been enjoying it. And this is coming from someone who wasn't a big fan of like the Arkham series. So like I don't know. I kind of think that this game it definitely seems like it has potential to be super fun. I've been enjoying it a lot. I've dabbled a lot with Nightwing. I'm a big Nightwing in the comics guy.
Sure.
And I've played some as Red Hood. Fun. All of the characters I've played as so far, and I've dabbled with all of them. They all feel unique enough that like if I want to go out and explore and solve crimes or do whatever, like it still feels unique and fresh. I can just jump into a new character. They have like a new little spin on things. And the story is interesting, though I will say I have a feeling I already know how this game is going to end just based on the comics. I think that's the problem. It's like if you just think about like if you are familiar at all with the Court of Owls and kind of how that works out, like it definitely feels like I know how this is probably going to end. But that's not deterring me from playing it because I do think they set up some of these mysteries and things pretty well. So like, I don't know. I think it's I've had fun with it so far. So I'm excited to keep playing it. Yeah. So thank you for that Christmas present.
Hey, anytime. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
I would say, what are
So
you playing?
yeah, so I did the thing where I kind of jumped around a bit over
Mhm.
break. I was trying to knock off as many like 2022 games as I could before we hit 2023,
Sure.
and I was semi successful. So I played like 2 to 4 hours of High on Life,
Okay.
which I enjoyed, but I don't know that I'm gonna go back.
Sure.
I thought it was fun, but like it just didn't grab me.
Sure.
I played like 5 or 6 hours of the Entropy Center, which I like briefly mentioned on our last episode, but it's a pretty cool game. It's like Portal, but instead of the puzzles being completely centered around portals, it's centered around time. So you have this gun that if you pick up an object and move it around, then if you point your gun at it and like shoot your little time bullet at it, I guess, whatever, you can control it and take that object back in time
Ooh,
where it was
okay.
before. So it's very much like Portal in that you have to kind of like set up this puzzle space and like take things and move them and like grab things and drop them, and then kind of once you're in a specific spot, start using the entropy gun to kind of rewind time of these things to trigger certain doors and certain whatever. um and it's good. It's just it's too long. Like that's my biggest if this game was over by now in 6 hours, I would say, wow, what an awesome like spiritual successor to Portal.
Mhm.
But according to the internet, I'm like just under halfway through the game, and so I'm like, I don't know that it's good enough in my opinion for me to like come back and finish it. So we'll see.
Sure. Sure.
um the game that I played the most, though, that I am been very excited to talk about, Cayman,
Mhm.
is a game that friend of the show Cam Hawkins had talked about when he came on to talk about God of War Ragnarok, and that game is called Signalis.
Okay. Okay. I
Played that
remember that. Yeah. Yeah.
played that on Xbox, and man, if I played this game in 2022, it would have been very high on my list
Really?
for
Okay.
game of the year. It's an awesome game, and
So
I
tell
think
me about it. Tell me
yeah,
about
so I think you especially will actually like this game a lot. So its perspective is top down. It's like isometric.
it. Mhm.
And its art style is really cool. It's like pixely. It kind of looks, its art style is similar to what you were saying earlier with like Shovel Knight and those kinds of games. It kind of is giving PS1 in its graphics. And it's like an over the top Resident Evil game in that, or like Silent Hill, honestly, where you're on this like space station and you're playing as this character and it doesn't give you a whole lot. Yeah, like I think you would really fuck with this
Okay.
game a
Yeah, that
lot.
sounds like something I would fuck with.
It very like its storytelling is really it doesn't give you a lot, but like in a good way.
Yep.
Like it
Sure.
really, it is a very thought-provoking game. It's a very because of the way it does its storytelling, it kind of fucks with your head a lot too. It's like, is there some unreliable narrator shit happening? But the actual gameplay of it is you're going around these various areas and like various space stationy type places, and there are a bunch of like puzzles. Like you come across this like butterfly box and you got to figure out like how do you open this box, like Resident Evil.
Okay.
Or there you might find these like multicolored different objects, like you don't really understand what they're for, but then at some point maybe you might come across a door that you can drop the thing. So like it's very heavy on the Resident Evil type puzzles. And their enemies in the game, they're kind of like zombies essentially. They It kind of leans into the spooky, like it's survival horror where you very rarely have enough ammunition to take out everything. It kind of like expertly grabs just little things from a bunch of different genres, and it all works together really, really nicely. And I had a great time with it.
Mm, that's cool.
There was also like there were a couple things that, this is a really weird like thing to notice, but in college I took 2 years of German, and
Of course you
some of it
did.
has stuck with me.
Of course. Sure.
And
Sure. Sure.
this
Sure.
game has this weird like German language motif where like a lot of the game is in German at times, and they don't ever explain why, but like the game is in English, but like there might be like writing on the wall in German, or like you might come across like a piece of paper that has like German written on it. And like I had this really cool experience where there were some times that I like was able to understand what it was saying and like be able to solve a puzzle because of it. So like that was a like really
Oh,
cool
okay.
experience.
That's
Like
cool.
it was really cool. Like I don't want to spoil any puzzles, especially if you're going to play it, but like there was this one moment where I'm like stuck in this room and I'm like I looking at the items I have, going to the little box where like the items I've stashed are. I've gone to all the rooms. Like I don't know what I could do in this room, but there is something in this room that I can't interact with yet, and I don't know why. And then I saw the like this thing in German on the wall, and I was like, oh, I know what it's trying to tell me, and like that, it was a really cool experience. So like it is a game that I had to look at a walkthrough a couple times, but hey,
Hey,
that's
ain't no shame in the game, bro.
no shame in the game, bro.
No
But
shame in the
yeah,
game.
Signalis, it's on Game Pass right now if you have Xbox or PC. It's also only $20. Like I I I don't know that it's on Switch, but I know it's on PlayStation, it's on Steam Deck. It's probably on Switch if it's on everything else because it's not like super graphically intense.
Taxing.
Yeah. So yeah, if you like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, like those kinds of games, you like survival horror, you like a mystery, you like a kind of a mind fucky type story, play Signalis if you haven't because it's pretty fucking great.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, definitely gonna look into that. That sounds awesome.